Hi friends, I welcome you all here at TNV Academy. In this session, we are going to talk about an international standard ISO 13485 2016. Now, let me talk about Clause 7, Product Realization. Coming to Clause 7.2, Customer-Related Processes. The subclause 7.2.1, Determination of Requirements related to the product, states that the organization is required to determine the requirements specified by the customer, including the requirements for delivery and post-delivery activities. This clause says that the organization is required to determine the requirements not stated by the customer, but necessary for specified or intended use as known. According to this subclause 7.2.1, the organization is required to determine the applicable regulatory requirements related to the product. The clause says that organization is required to determine any user training needed to ensure specified performance and safe use of the medical device. As per subclause 7.2.1, an organization is required to define any additional requirements determined by the organization. Coming to subclause 7.2.2, Review of Requirements related to product. The subclause 7.2.2 of ISO 13485 specifies that the organization is required to review the requirements related to products. This review is required to be conducted prior to the organization's commitment to supply product to the customer, for example, submission of tenders, acceptance of contracts or orders, acceptance of changes to contracts or orders. As per subclause 7.2.2, the review is required to ensure that the product requirements are defined and documented. Contract or order requirements differing from those previously expressed are resolved. Applicable regulatory requirements are met. Any user training identified in accordance with subclause 7.2.1 is available or planned to be available. The organization has the ability to meet the defined requirements. According to this subclause 7.2.2, organization is required to maintain the records of the results of the review and actions arising from the review. When the customer provides no documented statement of requirement, the customer requirements are required to be confirmed by the organization before acceptance. Clause further says that when product requirements are changed, the organization is required to ensure that relevant documents are amended and that relevant personnel are made aware of the changed requirements. Let's talk about subclause 7.2.3, Communication. This subclause states that the organization is required to plan and document arrangements for communicating with customers in relation to product information, inquiries, contracts, or order handling, and including amendments. According to this clause, the organization is also required to plan and document arrangements for communicating with customers in relation to customer feedback, including complaints and advisory notices. Lastly, subclause 7.2.3 states that the organization is required to communicate with regulatory authorities in accordance with applicable regulatory requirements. For more information about our institute and other training programs, you can contact us through email or phone. I sincerely thank you for all your interest and attention. Thanks and best wishes.